Myanmar, as well as the Philippines. Now, the Philippines is our latest addition. It's a fully digital bank. And I think they're also the youngest outfit in terms of age group. Yeah, so the average age of our Philippines workforce is about 20. Like I mentioned just now, we have about 36,000, give and take 35,000, 36,000 employees. So it's a fairly diversified workforce. And by diversity, we really do work to make sure that we have a balance in terms of, okay, sorry, I think some of you can't hear me. Was that the, okay, is it better now?
Sure.
Yeah, okay, maybe I'll move closer to the screen. Yeah, okay, all right. Okay, so a workforce of 36,000 employees that we try and we work very hard to make sure that there's a balance in gender, in terms of socioeconomic background, in terms of nationalities, and increasingly we're also looking to accommodate I would say different types of talents. So I think, if I'm not mistaken, we hired about total across the group. We have more than 50 employees who are actually on the spectrum, on the autism spectrum, and they carry out various roles within the bank. So we believe that everybody has something to contribute. We try to make them feel included. So we actually work very hard towards getting this diversified workforce. Yeah. That's one of our values. We started off with I guess back in the day, everyone has a vision and mission, but I think increasingly young people want a reason to get up get up from bed in the morning, come to work, go through traffic jams, right? Get into crowded trains, although for now no one's going to work. So this landed on a purpose when we embarked on our I think the next chapter of our journey towards becoming, I would say, adopting more digital and technology into our businesses, into our solutions that we discover customers. How do I know how to choose what kind of career is right for me? There's been a lot of articles in the past about passion. Now, I don't mind passion. I think it's important to sustain your career, but I think it takes a lot more than passion to make this life-changing decision. And at times, you may have to accept that there is no one right reason for an entire lifetime. There are different reasons to accommodate the different stages of life that you're in. So I prefer this Japanese concept of ikigai. So I think it's pronounced ikigai. Those of you who study Japanese, please correct me if I'm wrong in that pronunciation. So that's good. So you can always use them as well as a sounding board to help you decide what's the right, what would be the right place for you to start, or how should you embark on your first job after university. Now, the different thing is that getting a job has always been a challenge. If some of you found it a challenge even before, right? I think we make graduates nowadays do a lot more things than you really have a lot of hoops to jump through compared to the time when I was looking for a job. It's even more challenging. But just to recap how we like our CVs done in CIMB, it's that we prefer that it's a one-pager, right? That it contains only the very basic details about yourself. So how do we contact you? Mobile, email, LinkedIn profile. I'll get to that in a bit. Correspondence address, maybe not so necessary. Some companies still ask for it, but most companies don't, because the reason why is that you don't know where your CV is going to land up, and that's quite personal information. So you don't want anyone just grabbing hold of your home address and using it for other things. Of course, not to forget your key strengths, achievements, and awards. Now, the key word here is to be selective in what you put down. I really encourage you to have a photo on your online profile, just to make sure that you are who you say you are, right? And it makes we know that you're, a genuine student looking for work or an internship, yeah. And build your presence online. So LinkedIn is great for that. For those of you who are not yet on LinkedIn, or for those of you whose profiles have been somewhat neglected on LinkedIn, now is a good time to So we find that candidates who do well or who tend to have the most positive outcomes from an assessment center are those who are familiar and well versed with what the recruiting process is like. Yeah, so if you're not yet familiar, now is a good time to start doing your research. Ask your seniors, attend sessions by companies such as the ones that we are organized by CIMB. I won't stop you from going to other companies as well. I think, I think my colleagues, our recruiter colleagues who work at other companies also have very good tips to share. They may have a different point of view on certain things. So it's good for you to be well informed about what is the hiring process like. So yeah, so if any of you, maybe we should play this online, yeah? Later, yeah? So some of the things that have happened here. So Meg did one just now, accidentally mute speaker, but then I'm guilty of that half the time, right? Your parents walk in at totally inappropriate moments, right? Shall I go on with the questions or how? Does with the rest of the slide?
I think we continue with the slide first, and then we will going to answer the question after this.
Okay, right, sure. Okay, I'm going to start with the questions there, and I'll come back to the questions. Yeah. Okay. So you may ask, what we look for in our what do we look for in our TCBs? Actually, I think increasingly there are two things that we have a lot of words here on the deck. Like we talk about agility quotient, we talk about digital quotient and all that. But realistically, what do we look for in our candidates? Yeah. So the team can also attest to this. First of all, we look at whether we look at humility, right? Integrity is very important because you are the custodian of people's money. And in some cases, you are the custodians. These are the only funds that they have for their lifetime. So integrity is very important. Related that we are putting on hold at the moment. Yeah, these are very sales-based roles. But for the TCB program, these are premium graduate programs. We actually have 3 tracks. So one is the leadership track, which is our oldest program, the Complete Banker. It's more than 15 years old. Yeah, it gives you exposure. It's a 2-year program. It gives you exposure to banking, all banking areas, consumer, investment, or we call it wholesale banking increasingly. Yeah, commercial banking, Islamic banking, and as well as the compliance and risk functions. So during this 2-year period, there are 2 intakes a year generally. There are a certain amount of things that you have to do as well, sustainability program. And at the end of the 2-year program, in your 2nd year, we also offer the opportunity for you to actually venture out of the company to go for your elective development. Roles in banking you'll find that economic students carry out a variety of roles within the bank. Some are frontline roles in sales, whether it's in commercial bank as relationship managers, whether it's as investment bankers, when they do the deal structuring, they figure out, client wants to expand, wants capital to expand their business. How do they go about it? And the advisory work is also done by the investment bankers. Some go into credit card, some go into sales, mortgages, or others go into more regulatory roles. So these are risk or compliance functions. Some economic students also end up in HR or finance. So it really depends on group strategy. So these are the variety of roles that in economics that are open to an economic students. You have to understand that economics degree is a very general degree. So what you're prepared, it depends on what you like and what you want to do and what would suit your lifestyle as well upon graduation. Yeah. All of you in CIMB. All right, thank you very much. Now stay on the line. We're going to take a group photo. Are we?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. All right.
And everyone to turn on your video, and then we can see everyone's face.
My webcam just not working. Doesn't work.
Cass, are we doing something as well? Is there a treat for them?
Yeah, after this.
Okay, all right, okay, all right.
Yes. Okay, let's test another one.
Okay, a number of you guys haven't on back your video, so just switch it back on so that we can see all your pretty faces. Love you guys doing your hair. I love the guys haven't shaved or have.
Okay.
Dodgy hair, yeah. Actually, hairdressing is a very good career option after this as well, I think.
See. Okay, let's go to the fish one again. Okay, you can see a lot of photo here. Okay, good. Okay. Yeah, I think that's all.
All right.
Okay.
Nice.
Thank you, Muna, for your good presentation. And then I believe that all the question has been answered. But you don't have to worry. If let's say you do have any other question, you can go to the to apply for the job, and then we will going to have a chat with you. If possible, we ourselves in all the recruiters here, if possible, we're going to conduct the virtual interview after have a session with you. And then also by end of the session, we will advise you which the link that you can apply the job with CIMB. Okay, and for the time being, I will leave it the screen here. If let's say you do have any other question, just text here, and then I'll try my best to answer it. Okay. Okay, thank you everyone. Just a gentle reminder for the tomorrow's session. We're going to have our rep from CIMB and then talk about the data. It's actually the data is really the all, and then for you to understand what the data is all about, the benefit having that data, what actually the advantage that we may take having the good data in our hands. Okay, that's actually the sharing. Actually better for you to have that session, and then easy for you to get yourself ready, especially during the interview. Okay, thank you everyone. I'll be here until 2 o'clock and then to answer the question from this page.